Alright guys, Lugarti sent me some natural reptile bedding substrate. I believe it's a new product of theirs, so they sent it to me to try out. So I'm going to be doing a review on this. I have not used it yet, I haven't opened it yet. This is what my tank looks like now. It's really dark, so let me get my flashlight out. There's gas right there. So this is what it looks like now. I got tile. And I really like the tile, so I just wanted to try this stuff out to see what it looks like and how it does. Instructions: fill terrarium and pack down firmly to a depth of 3 to 4 inches. Substrate may be deeper for larger animals or burrowing species. As the substrate dries, gently remove any loose particles. Completely replace all substrate monthly and spot clean daily. So it looks pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward, so I'm going to take my tank apart and then put this stuff in. Okay, the bottom of my tank, I don't know how easy to be able to see. I think the brand is Zoomed, but it's heat cable. So on about 60% of the bottom. So we're gonna see how well this this bedding does with heat as well. So this is the first bag, and there's a lot more dirt in here than I was expecting. This is just one bag, and they sent me 3, which is awesome. And I figured I'd need 3 just to cover this much. So it goes a lot further than I expected, which is good. So this is all one bag, and that's packed down. I tried to get it as even as I could, and I don't know how. Let me reposition my phone for some light, and that's about an inch. About an inch deep. I don't know how good the heat will go through this, since with leopard geckos you want to heat them from underneath. So I'm going to keep the warm side probably about that base thickness of about 1 inch, and then I'm going to try to make some mounds in places, and just some places where you can dig, and then I'll probably pile up a lot on the cold side so you can burrow and give them some more exercise trying to climb up hills and see what I can create with this. Alright, I'm going to attempt to use this mag light as a thing to be able to tunnel, or like a hide. That way I can pack it down and then slide it out. And then maybe he can dig more out. If I don't know how much of a digger he would be, but it's a start. That seemed to work rather well. Feels like it can hold some weight. I don't know how much. I'm just gonna try to, and I'm pushing down pretty hard, and it's holding pretty well. So that'll be enough. I'll probably redo it because I'm kind of trying to destroy it just to see how strong this stuff is, and it seems to be working pretty well. But I just want enough of a hole to where he'll maybe start to dig out his own little hide. For those of you who don't know, leopard geckos tend to poop in the same corner every time. So I have this this smooth flat tile that I'm gonna put in the corner that he poops in, so that way to try to keep the substrate clean, and that way all I have to do is pull the tile out and wash it off and then put it back, and no mess. Easy cleanup. I've had my heat rope going for a while, and I can already tell that the substrate's getting warm. Right now it's at 87 degrees, and so that is great, because with leopard geckos you want it between like 88 and 93, so it's getting up in temps to where we want it to be, so that is fantastic. With the moist hide I used, I went ahead and buried it into the substrate a little bit, and that way to try to keep it warm, because I put it on top of the substrate and then had to go through the resin hide and then warm up the floor enough. I didn't think that I think it would block off too much heat, so I buried it down into the substrate a little bit. And sorry about the horrible light conditions, but so it's buried down in there a little bit, and I imagine that there's gonna be a bunch of dirt in there with gas coming in and out, but we'll see how that turns out. So I just placed the third bag of this stuff, and just to kind of give you a view, it's very fine. Like, there's no, I mean, I found a few like little pieces of wood, but like they said, after it dries out, pick out that stuff like this. You need to go through and pick it all out, but otherwise it's very fine and very packable. And I have a 40-gallon breeder. I think it goes 36 inches length and 18 inches deep. I could be wrong. I need to recheck that. But and they sent me 3 bags. I told them I had a 40-gallon, and they sent me 3 bags, which is perfect. I'm really glad. I was worried they were only going to send 1, and it would be hard to do a review with not enough material. But so the rest of this stuff, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I kind of want to leave it mounted up and see how deep he digs. I don't think leopard geckos are much of the burrowing type, but I guess I don't know for sure. But I definitely want to do a tunnel across here and see if I can get the glass to be exposed, so whenever he hides in there, you can see him through the glass. Okay. So over here, I have the warm burrow and a little turtle shell that he used to like a lot, but not recently. His potty corner, his moist hide, water dish, this little tree hide. Over here, on the cool side, we have a very deep burrow, and if he uses it, we will be able to see him in there, which I hope he does use it, because that would be pretty cool. And this stuff seems to pack really good. I mean, you can mold stuff in it, and it is, I'm quite impressed, honestly. And then we got this stick. And then over here, I left this kind of loose in case he wants to dig himself. And then I have a little burrow started. It's not much of one, but that way he can dig. I'm hoping he likes to dig, because that's kind of the point of this substrate, because the tile was fine, but just changing it up, seeing if he likes it. I kind of wanted to do a review, and I like it so far. It looks really good, I think. Okay guys, I had this thing full of Eco Earth, and I kind of want to just do this for comparison. Eco Earth, this stuff is dry. I don't really ever water it. I had this in there just so if he wanted to dig, he could dig around in there, and he did every once in a while and seemed to like it. But there's a lot of stringiness. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it's just, I mean, very gritty, very pretty coarse, a lot of stringiness, and I don't like that stringiness, because that, when it gets wet, that'll help it clump together. Which Eco Earth, I trust Eco Earth, and that's why it's in there. And I used to use it for my moist hide, but it just started to make a mess on my tile. But so this, I mean, I trust this stuff. But if you look at that, and then you come up here, and you look at this stuff, I mean, look how fine this is. It's like almost like a powder. It's just so much better, and there's no like stringiness. There's nothing. I mean, there's a few, like I showed earlier, a few little chunks, but I mean, nothing like Eco Earth, and I trust Eco Earth. So I'm very impressed with this stuff. It's very compactable. You can leave it kind of looser for digging if you want. I wouldn't do it loose all over the place because then you might ingest it. But if a gecko ingests this stuff, I'm pretty sure it would pass right through with no problems. Still, never good to chance it, so pack it down majority of the place. And then like I did, I left one little area for him to dig. Otherwise, it's all compact pretty well. And I'll do another temperature test since it's been a while. Sorry, I'm really struggling with this light. .87. There it goes to 90. So it's gonna vary because it probably varies in deepness. But he can always dig down more if he wants more heat. So I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll be fine. And I'm sure it'll take a while to get warmed up because it's literally been like 30 minutes. So it's definitely going to need more time to heat up. Alright, I added those plants and then I made a change to the warm hide, the warm burrow, because I had to put my thermostat probe in there. And I also decided that he'll probably be in there more than his cool side, so I added that little hole where I could see him in there if he's in there, and if he digs it out more, kind of like the cold hide. Other than that, I think I'm done messing with it. This is what it turned out to be, and I think it looks awesome. I'm really happy. I really like the product. I hope Gaz, my leopard gecko, likes it, and we'll see what he thinks about it. Alright, I had him chilling in a box. He's not liking me right now. Probably because he does not know where the hell he's at. Come on, buddy, you'll be okay. Oh yeah, no, don't jump out of my hand. This is a 40-gallon breeder tank. Measures out 36 inches long and 18 inches deep. And I used 3 bags of it. And I think 3 bags is the perfect amount. So if you had a 20-gallon tank, you'd probably want 2 bags to be on the safe side. Because I think it's cool having it mounted up like that. And being able to make burrows. If you wanted it just to lay down flat and just have an even ground, then 1 bag would probably be fine in a 20-gallon. And depending on how deep it would be, how deep you want it to be, you could get by with 1 bag on a 40-gallon, but I would do 2 to be safe in case your animal wants to dig. But 3 bags, I think is perfect, and I think it looks awesome. I'm very happy. And we will see how Gaz likes it and see if he wants to dig. Alright guys, it's been about a week since I installed the natural reptile bedding from Lugarti, and the temperatures are actually sitting like right where I want them. It does pretty good at being consistent. It's going to jump around different temperatures based on the thickness, but stays where I want it to be for the majority of the area. And you could probably get away with being a little thicker than I was, but I don't really see the need. I think it's fine at that around that 1 inch mark. It's really nice and packs down good, but it's still like, you pack it down. They say it's not a loose substrate, but I don't know. It kind of is, I guess. The top, I mean, it's like it packs down good. I'll give them that. But I mean, you still got loose particles, so I mean, to be honest, tile is gonna be a lot safer if you're worried about ingestion and or impact. If you're worried about impaction, it's gonna be a lot safer to go with tile, because I mean, they can still get this stuff in their mouth, and I think it'll pass through fine, but you never really know. I tongue feed, or you could get them out and feed them in a different container, but I would not just drop your food onto the substrate and let them eat off of that. That's how they're going to get it in their mouths the majority of the time. But I really like it. I think I'll probably use this stuff for a while. I like it a lot. I haven't really gone through mine yet and picked out all the big stuff. I still need to do that. This is what it'll look like. And so some of the stuff just needs to be broken down, and some of it needs to be taken out. But yeah, I recommend this stuff. If you're wanting to go with the more natural, or the more like a dirt look, I would go with this stuff over like Eco Earth, or I haven't ever used excavator clay, but they say that excavator clay doesn't it insulates the heat too much, and you can't get any heat to go through it. And so that's what I thought this stuff was going to do, so I was kind of worried, and that's why I kept it really shallow. But the heat goes through it just fine. It stays at the temperatures I wanted. The first couple of days, the temps were all wacky, because the stuff's a little wet when you get it out. You can see here, I don't know if it shows on the camera, but this is still wet because it hasn't dried out yet, and this is wet. So it's a little damp, and then it dries out over time. So the first day, my room got really hot, so it was up to temps. And then once I got done putting it in, I opened up my window to cool my room off, and the temps dropped like almost instantly, like within 30 minutes, because the cold air reacting to that, the moist dirt, it cooled it off really fast. So after it dried out, the temperatures were a lot more steady, and so now if I open my window or turn my ceiling fan on, then it like keeps the temperature. It doesn't get too cold. So your first couple days, if you use this stuff, it's gonna take a while until it dries out. Your temps will be a little wacky. Overall, I do recommend this stuff. I like it. I like tile too. If you're worried about the gecko eating the substrate, then definitely go with tile. But if you wanted to go for looks that look something like this, it looks more natural or realistic, then this stuff's really good. I like it. I wouldn't be worried too much, but there's always those possibilities in life. So it's a good product, and I would highly recommend it.